revenue inflow for 2025 against the projected 40.8 trillion naira. Of the 54.46 trillion naira projected aggressive expenditure for 2026, the Senate pegged capital expenditure at 20.131 trillion naira, recurrent expenditure at 15.265 trillion naira, statutory transfer at 3.152 trillion naira, and sinking fund at 388.54 billion naira. Also, the Senate approved the $60 per barrel as oil benchmark, down from 64.85 proposed by the executives, and projected aggregate revenue of 34.33 trillion naira, fiscal deficit of 20.13 trillion naira, borrowings at 17.88 trillion, debt service of 15.52 trillion naira, pensions, gratuities, retirees benefits of 1.376 trillion naira, 1.84 million barrels per day as crude oil production, an inflation rate of 16.5%, exchange rate of 1,512 naira per dollar, and GDP growth rate at 4.68%. The approval of the fiscal document followed the presentation and consideration of reports of the Senate Committee on Finance during the plenary. The Ogun State House of Assembly Committee on Finance and Appropriation has commended the Office of the Head of Service for its professionalism, prompt service delivery, and strategic role as the engine room of government, describing its performance as critical to effective governance across the state. Members of the House Committee on Finance and Appropriation, led by Honorable Musafiu Lamidi, gave the commendation when the head of service, Mr. Kehinde Onosoya, led other agencies and bureau under his office to defend the 2026 budget proposals of his office. Correspondent Kola Oleosho covered the session, and details are in this package.
The Ogun State Head of Service, Mr. Kehinde Onosoya, while defending the 2026 budget proposals of the different bureau under his office before the Committee on Finance and Appropriation, said his office was deliberately anchored on capacity building to deepen reforms and to reinvigorate the civil service to drive efficiency and improved service delivery.
It's essentially the government of the state doing the Quadron is indeed an apostle of capacity building. It must continue to ensure the smooth operation of government business, and this we have continued to do, and we shall do more in the year 2026.
Mr. Onosoya appreciated the state governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, for his visionary style in turning the state to an investment destination of choice through the promotion of infrastructure and investment incentives that had put the state on the front burner among its peers on the ease of doing business ratings.
Under our office, we have the Bureau of Public Service Reforms. Reforms is about changes, it's about dynamism. And if the service must continue to progress, what is very, very key. We have carried out quite a number of reforms. We have IGR, the education sector. We are coming up with a compendium of all our activities that has to do with reforms.
Presenting the budget estimates of his office, the state head of service proposed a total expenditure of 1.252 billion naira, comprising 291 million naira for capital projects, with a sum of 748 million naira being earmarked for overhead costs and 212 million naira set aside for personnel expenditure, just as the projected revenue targets for the next year stood at 9.7 million naira. The lawmakers, led by the committee chairman, Honorable Musafiu Lamidi, acknowledged the various reforms and programs put in place by the office to enhance service delivery and aid good governance in the state.
Our mandate is to ensure accountability, transparency, physical discipline, and value for money for the people of the state.
Today, we have shown example in Appreciation. It shows diligence, it shows character. We appreciate this.
More importantly,
journalists of repute. So I have no doubt in my mind that it's going to bring changes to the civil service. And he has told us all he has done, all the changes he has brought to the service.
The committee advocated for increased funding to the Office of the Head of Service to strengthen its capacity and enhance the discharge of its statutory responsibilities to aid service delivery in the next fiscal year.
In a related development, the House Committee on Finance and Appropriation, led by its chairman, Honorable Mustafiu Lamidi, has commended the Ogun State Judiciary for its revenue performance, counseling it to surpass the achievement in the next fiscal year. The House Committee made the call while taking on the State Judiciary during the ongoing 2026 budget defense by ministries, departments, and agencies of government in the state. The lawmakers also applauded the judiciary for its role in the interpretation of laws and dispensation of justice, while urging the executive arm to boost capital releases to the judiciary in aiding better performance in the coming year. Correspondent Kola Oleosho covered this session. Details are in this package.
Defending the budgets of the state judiciary, the Chief Registrar, Mr. Olakunle Nyoke, disclosed that as of October 2025, the judiciary had generated over 174 million naira out of the 367 million naira revenue target, representing 47.54% performance for the outgoing year. He stated that a total of 2.882 billion naira was expended on recurrent costs, including personnel and overheads, out of which 4.350 billion naira earmarked for the year, representing 66.25%. For the 2026 fiscal year, he said the judiciary proposed a total of 11.312 billion naira, with 460 million naira projected as internally generated revenue, just as 7.396 billion naira was earmarked for recurrent expenditure and 3.915 billion naira budgeted for capital projects. He highlighted the key proposed projects to include the construction and renovation of office buildings, a residential quarters across judicial divisions, procurement of a 100-seater luxury bus for staff, and the upgrade of digital judicial processes to enhance efficiency, such as digital affidavit processing and case filing. In a related development, the committee commended the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment for recording 75% performance in its internally generated revenue for the outgoing year. The committee also acknowledged the ministry's performance towards improving the state's ranking from 30th to 5th in the nation's ranking on Ease of Doing Business Index. On his part, the chairman of the House Committee on Industry, Trade and Investment, Honorable Adebisi Oyedele, urged the ministry to sustain and surpass its current performance in the next fiscal year. Presenting the ministry's budget proposal, the commissioner in charge of ministry, Mr. Debola Shofela, proposed a total of 7.748 billion naira, comprising of 3.999 billion naira for capital projects, with 820 million naira set aside for personal cost and 2.972 billion naira for overhead cost, while proposing a revenue target of 6 billion naira. In another development, the House Committee directed the State Property and Investment Corporation, OPIC, to reappear before the Assembly with detailed figure of the Metro's residences owned by the state government for proper legislative engagement.
Ogun State House of Assembly has screened the nominee of the state governor, Prince Dakwa Abiodun, for the post of Auditor General for Local Governments, Mr. Abdul Najim Olayinka, with a commendation to the governor for appointing a thoroughbred professional and a distinguished civil servant into the post of the Auditor General for the local government. The lawmakers who took turn to applaud the governor described the nominee as a round peg in a round hole, who had distinguished himself in all the positions he had occupied. While presiding over the screening at the Assembly Complex, Ukemoso Abeokuta, the Speaker, Right Honorable Oludaisi Elemide, joined his co-lawmakers to commend the governor and charged the nominee to ensure that his tenure is marked by positive change impact the service positively with integrity, transparency, and accountability if confirmed. Responding, the nominee thanked the governor for his nomination while appreciating the lawmakers for the confidence reposed in him, promising to run an inclusive management team with strong mechanisms for accountability and transparency. Olayinka, a native of Shagamu local government area and a graduate of accounting from the Olabisi Onabanjo University, trained as an auditor, who was until his nomination the head of operations at the Ugo Cares Livelihood Support Unit under the Ministry of Finance. Meanwhile, the Ugo State House of Assembly will on Thursday 18th December 2028 hold a stakeholders forum on the bill titled Ugo State Agricultural Land Management Agency Law 2025. It is a bill for a law to establish the Ugo State Agricultural Land Management Agency with a mandate to deploy a comprehensive framework for responsible and inclusive land-intensive agricultural investment. The public hearing, according to a release signed by the clerk and head of legislative service, Mr. Shakiru Adibaki, will commence at 10 in the morning, while all relevant stakeholders and invited government officials are expected to be seated by 9:30. Ogun State Deputy Governor Engineer Noimot Salakoh Oidele has attributed the increasing inflow of investment into the state to the people-focused policies of the Dapo Abiodun-led administration. The Deputy Governor stated this at the official opening of Alpha Magan Bank, Songwater branch. She noted that sustained investment in infrastructure, improved security architecture, and ongoing regulatory reforms have positioned the state as one of the most attractive destinations for investors in Nigeria.
It's my pleasure to be here today to witness and celebrate the commissioning of the Alpha Morgan Bank Ota branch. Today marks an important milestone, not just for Alpha Morgan Bank, but also for Ota, for Ogun State, and for our shared aspiration of inclusive economic growth. I warmly commend the vision, discipline, and commitment of the Group Managing Director, Mr. Ade Brimo, a proud son of Ogun State, whose leadership has seen Alpha Morgan grow steadily into the strong and respected financial institution it is today. His journey reflects what is possible when talent is matched with clarity of purpose and strategic long-term thinking.
Still to come on the news, Niger governor sacks 30 special advisors. We'll bring you details of these and more after the break. Don't go away.
No worries, I go make am. Mogo Bible.
Victor, even you they use money point?
Of course now, they use money point.
Confirmed.
Money point, made for your progress.
Welcome back. Glad to know that you're still there. For those who are just joining us, you're watching the major news broadcast for the day on OGTV. Ogun State government has declared that it will not compromise standards in road construction across the state, urging all contractors engaged by it to deliver jobs that conform with government specifications or risk losing their jobs. The government handed down this warning following the stop work order issued by the Ogun State Ministry of Works and Infrastructure on Monday, December 15, to the Managing Director of Slavabogu Nigeria Limited, the contractor handling the reconstruction of the Padiarikawe Road, GRA, in Shagamu area of the state. The road, which is 3.39 kilometers in length and is being done by the Ogun State government, previously attracted a stop work order when the contractor handling phase 1 of it, namely a 260-meter constituency project of the senator representing Ogun East in the National Assembly, Benga Daniel, failed to abide by specifications. The Ogun State government said the information obtained in respect of the road as initially proposed by the Ogun East senator indicated that it will take the federal government between 6 and 7 years to attend to the rest of the road, as phases 2, 3 and 4 are mere proposals, adding that the Dapo Abiodun government therefore awarded the rest of the road in order to address the plights of residents in the area. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Media and Strategy, Honorable Kayode Akimade, the government indicates that its actions followed the Works Ministry's receipt of information from the resident engineer on the project that the contractor had commenced the drainage work using single reinforced steel instead of double reinforced steel recommended in the contract. It said that the contractor, who was immediately given the official stop work order on the same day, was instructed to demolish all the concrete bases and remove all the reinforcement steel since the walls have not been casted, and reconstruct same with doubly reinforced steel using grade 30 concrete. As part of its efforts to sustain effectiveness and efficiency in the operations of its digital innovation, Ogun State Ministry of Education, Science and Technology trained zonal education officers and zonal portal administrators across the 20 local government areas of the state on mastery of its digital platform for education revitalization. The Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Adbayomi Arigbabu, during a capacity building training exercise organized by the ministry at the Simeon Adibo Library in Abeokuta with the theme Implementation of Digital Platform for Education Revitalization DIPA, says the exercise was physical representation of earlier virtual webinar digital program which involved all stakeholders in the education sector. Represented by the Director of Education, Department of Planning, Research and Statistics, Mr. Olabode Adewale, Professor Arigbabu enjoined participants to take the training very seriously and ensure that they get acquainted with the platform, adding that they should ask necessary questions for clarification.
Converging here for a very, very important stage. Since we have moved from Ojisera to DIPA, this is the best time for the ZBOs, the ZPS, and the Department of Planning, Research and Statistics to have a robust training.
The participants, the founder of EduTam, the platform that powers DIPA, Associate Professor Ademola Adinumi, says the enhanced digital platform was created on a better framework which could also automate and digitize activities within the public and private schools, adding that the training will enable them tackle any challenge from the sector. Appreciating the government for the training, two of the participants, the Zonal Education Officer, Yewa North, Mr. Emmanuel Ashebe, and the Zonal Portal Administrator, Abeokuta South, Uluwabumi Olojo, said the exercise has broadened their horizon and equipped them for proficient use of the digital platform. Professionals remain firmly in charge of the education sector in Ogun State as the government has sustained reforms aimed at strengthening quality, accountability, and efficiency in public schools. This assurance came from the chairman of the Teaching Service Commission, Biodun Soyaolu, during a media parley held at the Commission's headquarters in Ukimoso, Abeokuta. Our reporter, Margaret Okunola, reports.
Ogun State continues to position itself as a model for education reforms, with policies designed to enhance effective teaching and improve service delivery across public secondary schools. Speaking at the media parley, the chairman of the Teaching Service Commission, Apostle Biodun Soyaolu, says the state is strengthening the education sector through reforms that promote efficiency, accountability, and quality teaching. He explains that One of such initiatives is the introduction of a whistleblowing policy aimed at bridging communication gaps between stakeholders and the Commission while addressing violations of the Code of Ethics.
The idea of the whistleblower scheme is for us to get close to what is happening in each school. We can use that scheme as a mirror to see what is happening in all the 517 secondary schools. Number 3, it gives the opportunity to all the teachers to be able to relate with us. The scheme will go into full operation from next term. But the test running that we have done in the last 2-3 months has yielded a lot of results. Just like we are here to protect our teachers, we are also here to protect the students. We don't want the teachers to be molested. We don't want the students also to be molested by the teachers. Our job is to protect the two sides.
Apostle Sonyaolu notes that no incentives are attached in order to guarantee transparency and integrity. As part of efforts to ensure balanced staffing, the TESCOM chairman says teachers will be redistributed across the 517 public secondary schools in the state to improve effectiveness and service delivery.
The biggest tool in TESCOM is inspection. We have identified each school in Ogun State. So, and what we are doing now is taking the bull by the horn, looking at it where we have excess teacher. We take the teacher on that subject to schools where the services is needed. During the tenure of this our governor, we are not lacking in capacity building for our teachers. We are not going to allow any state to overtake us because we are not going to remain where we are. In fact, the leader of our team, Professor Aribabu, is burning with ideas.
He adds that the Commission is collaborating with stakeholders, development partners, and private institutions to leverage technology and maximize the use of artificial intelligence in teaching, learning, and administrative processes.
Governor Mohammed Bago of Niger State has terminated the appointments of 30 special advisors as part of efforts to restructure governance in the state. The decision was announced by the governor's chief press secretary, Ologi Ibrahim, who said the move was aimed at revamping the administration to enhance efficiency and effectiveness in line with the governor's new Niger agenda. While no details were provided on the new appointments or reassignments, the statement emphasized that the action was part of Governor Bago's broader plan to rejig and reposition key portfolios for improved service delivery. He said the governor announced this during his maiden council meeting with his newly sworn-in commissioners at the council chambers at the Government House, Mina. Bologi explained that the termination of their appointment was to allow the governor to rejig and reposition their portfolios with a view to making them more effective and efficient in line with his new Niger agenda. He said the governor appreciated them for their sacrifices and contributions towards the success of his administration and wished them well in their future endeavors. In a renewed effort to improve access to quality health care for indigenous communities, the Yoruba Nurses of North America, YONA, has brought its annual free medical outreach to Ogun State, targeting thousands of residents across the state. The event, which took place at the Ake Palace in Abeokuta, attracted medical personnel, royal fathers, and other invited guests. Tony Ogunipe's report is presented in this package.
Access to basic health care remains a major challenge for many communities across Nigeria, especially at the grassroots. In response to this need, professional health organizations continue to complement government efforts through humanitarian interventions. One of such initiatives is the annual free medical outreach organized by the Yoruba Nurses of North America, which this year brought quality health services to thousands of residents across Ogun State. The humanitarian health mission of the Yoruba Nurses of North America is driven by a strong commitment to promoting the health and well-being of Yoruba people across the Southwest, as well as part of Kogi and Kwara states. Speaking at a press conference, the president of the association, Dr. Adebisi Alisin, alongside other members of the group, explains that the initiative adopts a holistic and community.
Nurses of North America seek to bridge the gap by promoting equitably access to essential health services, encouraging community participation, fostering partnership with the government at all levels, community group, and third-party organizations.
And for sustainability, we're also we will be choosing, people who a couple of people who will pay insurance for, and the insurance is going to cover them for a year, so that when we are long gone and they have challenges, they can actually access healthcare, without worrying about the cost.
A team of volunteer physicians, nurses, pharmacists, and other healthcare professionals is mobilized to provide free general medical checkups and screening. This include blood pressure and blood glucose checks, visual acuity tests, health counseling, as well as breast cancer awareness. In a goodwill message, the Alake and the paramount ruler of Egbaland, Oba Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo, commends the initiative, describing it as a timely intervention.
Our economy had this turned down and was not doing well again, and our children started traveling. People thought everything about it must be bad. Now this is part of the good things coming from it.
Some of the beneficiaries also expressed appreciation to the Yoruba nurses of North America for bringing free medical services closer to the people.
Many people need medical, but when there is no enough finances, there is nothing anybody can do. We are very grateful to them.
It is a very good move from the Yoruba nurses in North America. They are giving back to the community. There are so many people have benefited. I realized I have one or two things I have to work on and manage. It's a very good.
The 2025 medical outreach is scheduled to run from December 16th to 20th across 5 locations in Ogun State, including Abeokuta, Ilaro, Shagamu, Remo, and Ijebu-Mushin.
As Ogun State prepares to celebrate 50 years of its creation, a 50-day challenge to showcase its achievements, challenges, and to chart a course for the future, put together by Tripod Media, has commenced. Speaking during a media party to herald the event, the convener, Daria Didoso, revealed that the program will run between December 16, 2025 and February 3, 2026 at Mfelix Event and Conference Center, Ajeba Road, Abeokuta. Matthew Shomi completes the report.
It's been 50 years of numerous progress and achievements for Ogun State, and Tripod Media has commenced the celebration with 50 days of convergence of eggheads to celebrate the achievements of the state, point out areas of challenge, and chart a new course for the future.
Maybe from Ogun State, or you work in Ogun State, or you're married to an Ogun State indigene, or anything at all that you have as an attachment to Ogun State, this event is for you. In 50 days, we are showcasing Ogun State as a state of the first. We are showcasing Ogun State as the cradle of civilization. We are showcasing Ogun State as a state with a rich history. Ogun State is the education capital of Nigeria.
The convener of the program, Dari Adirotun, addressing a media party, revealed that several personalities, which include the Nobel laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka, will be giving talks in 50 minutes for 50 days.
When you reference Ogun State, you talk about journalism, you talk about education, you talk about Chief Obafemi Awolowo, who pioneered free education in Nigeria. You talk about the renowned education icon, Tai Sholari. You talk about the first woman to drive a car, late Chief Mrs.
Other team members, in their contributions, state why the narratives must change about telling the story of the state by its people.
We must, as we are talking about the challenges of Nigeria, we must also talk about the success story. And we must not focus only on the negative. And that's why there's need for us to look at the changing in the narrative. And in the world over today, one of the advocacy we are making is that there should be, Africans should tell their own stories. One of the gap we've identified in terms of information flow is that there's this imbalance in information flow.
The point to make is that you don't look at what you are passing through. Even as a nation now, things will still be okay. The misfortunes will be reversed. Ogun State has become the synonym of all eyes, given its very unique location.
They concluded that the platform will be used to introduce and showcase the great things happening in the state to the rest of the world. Matthew Shomi, OGTV News.
A member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Boyega Nasir Isiaka, has facilitated a modern divisional police station building in Ojaudo, Ogun State. Honorable Isiaka, while handing over the project, said the initiative was born out of the need to ensure adequate security at the border town and enhance economic development. Details of the ceremony are in this package.
Honorable Boyega Nasir Isiaka, who represents Yewa North Imekwa for Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, underscores the importance of adequate security in Ojaudo, being a border community in the state. He also referred to Ojaudo as an area with potentials of huge economic contributions to Ogun State, hence the need for improved security around it.
To build a productive and competitive local economy, because we believe that as a border town, and with all the potentials that we have, there are so many things that we can do to expand the opportunities for households, to strengthen infrastructure and social public institutions, to protect the environment and secure our communities, and to improve the development outcome.
While he thanked President Bola Tinubu for supporting the facilitation of the station, Isiaka also commended Governor Dapo Abiodun for creating an enabling environment for such initiatives to thrive. Governor Abiodun's representative at the event, the State Commissioner of Police, and the traditional ruler of the area equally praised the gesture of the lawmaker.
So this one you have done for us is huge. You know it's huge. And we promise that we will justify the investment and we will justify the hope and, of course, expectation you have in getting this done.
We want to encourage each and every one of us to make sure that we provide information, credible information to our security personnel for us to be able to curb crime. Ogun State is very important. Ogun State is very strategic. We have people coming to Ogun State to come and invest. They have seen other states in Nigeria before making the decision to come to Ogun State to invest. And that boils down to the fact that they have seen Ogun State as a state that is peaceful. We want to sustain that particular peaceful nature of Ogun State.
Similarly, an electricity transformer was handed over to the people of the area by the lawmaker, while there was also an inspection of rice cultivation in the area.
After 35 years of dedicated service, a top member of the Ogun State government economic team, Mr. Thomas Babatunde Aregbesola, has bowed out of the civil service in line with statutory regulations. Widely regarded as a key driver of the state's economic growth, Aregbesola has described by senior government officials as one of the technocrats whose contributions helped grow Ogun State's economic from about 3.5 trillion naira to over 16 trillion naira. Fura Adesowu reports.
The man who takes the bow from all and sundry today takes his own bow, retiring meritoriously after an unblemished 35 years in the public service. Fondly called the Lion, a nickname nicked to his past leadership as president of the Lions Club, Aregbesola is celebrated as an astute and dedicated financial expert, a well-grounded accountant, and a mentor who leaves a lasting impression on colleagues across the state.
A career spanning 35 years of unwavering commitment to fiscal integrity, transparency, and the efficient management of our state finances.
So I did not hesitate to give me all that I require. You will never see him from his face that why are they putting this person always beside me, but I always enjoy his tutelage.
The Commissioner for Finance and Economic Advisor to the Governor described the retiring Permanent Secretary and Accountant General of the State Treasury as a valuable asset to government, praising his passion for duty and describing him as an indefatigable officer committed to excellence.
This is a state where we have recorded significant improvement in infrastructure and development and investment running to billions of dollars. So this state, as many of you would also attest to, is one that has won so many awards.
Speaking at the event, the retiring Permanent Secretary, Tunde Aregbesola, says it is still difficult for him to fully come to terms with retirement, noting that he will deeply miss the Ogun State Civil Service, where he spent the greater part of his professional life.
Of course, I miss a lot of things. If I'm not going to miss a lot of things, I'll not be saying that it's still difficult for me to believe that I'm out of service. I'm going to miss my colleagues in the office. I'm going to miss my waking up early to dress up for office, putting on my tie and suit. I'm going to miss the atmosphere in the office.
Several staff members also attested to his positive influence on their personal and professional growth, describing his leadership as impactful and inspiring. Adefowora Adesanwo, OGTV News.
Sons and daughters of Otawori land have been urged to contribute meaningfully to the development of their communities and the propagation of Islam in line with the teachings of the Holy Quran. The call was made by Islamic scholar Sheikh Abdul Latif Oulabi during the turbaning ceremony of newly installed Muslim chiefs organized by the Otawori Muslim community in Ogun State. The ceremony was held at the Otawori Muslim Community Praying Ground with Islamic scholars, Muslim faithful, and members of the public in attendance.
Full in Otawori land, joined by notable Islamic scholars and members of the public, gathered to witness the turbaning of a new Muslim chiefs, a ceremony symbolizing leadership, responsibility, and service to the Islamic faith. Chairman of the Planning Committee, Alhaji Kamaruddin Ogunbayi, says individual contributions remain key to community growth, urging the newly turbaned chiefs to remain committed and dedicated to the progress of Islam.
This event also serves as a reminder of our responsibility to support our community. The projects are 1. Maqbara, resting place or cemetery for the Muslims. 2. Office of the Country Imam of Otawori Kingdom. 3. Mini multipurpose pavilion or hall. 4. School projects.
Guest lecturer Sheikh Abdul Latif Oulabi enjoins Nigerians to place the thing of God above all things, encouraging the proper use of knowledge and wealth in the service of Almighty Allah. Eminent personalities at the event charged the Muslim community to continue praying for peace and unity in the nation, while reminding the newly installed chiefs that their elevation is a call to selfless service.
Habit to their daily activities and their daily religions, so that the other people in the Islamic realm can borrow from them.
The Muslim community nota to appoint and approve Kamal, Chief Kamal, as Wakilu of Muslimi of Awori land.
And I also appreciate all the Muslim community for deeming fit to honor our people with this intangible title. This is a very good one for us.
To make sure that as a native of Otawori, the growth 3 million should take our business.
Some of the newly turbaned chiefs expressed appreciation, calling for sustained prayers and support for Muslims in Otawori land to strengthen and advance the Islamic Ummah.
our forefathers brought Islam to Ota Awori land, and they have been doing it, they have been managing it, and we believe this is the best time for us to intervene, to upgrade the standard and the practice of Islam.
I'm very happy with it that I'm nominated to be the value government, and I promise all the community that I shall not fail to satisfy them all.
The presentation of certificates to the new chiefs at the Otawori Eid praying ground brings the ceremony to a close.
Prominent Nigerians, including Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun, as well as serving and former senators from Ogun and Lagos states, were at the funeral mass of late Dr. Mrs. Olushola Mary Tinuola Odujiri. Dr. Odujiri, wife of Senator Oladepo Odujiri, a renowned legal practitioner and elder statesman in Ogun State, was laid to rest following a solemn ceremony in Lagos. The funeral service was held at the Chapel of the Healing Cross, College of Medicine, University of Lagos, Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Idiaraba. Benga Adekoya reports.
A solemn and well-attended funeral at the Chapel of Healing Cross, College of Medicine, University of Lagos Teaching Hospital, Idiaraba, marks the final journey of Dr. Olushola Mary Tinuola Odujiri, who passed on at the age of 76. The late medical professional, wife of an illustrious son of Remoland and respected legal icon, is remembered for a life devoted to service, faith, and community development. In a sermon, Reverend Olusegun Onofeso admonishes the congregation to serve God wholeheartedly, reminding them that death remains inevitable for all. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun describes the late Dr. Odujiri as a remarkable woman whose life exemplifies dignity, compassion, commitment, and welfare of others.
It's a big loss to us as a state, a big loss to the family. Dr. Odujiri was an accomplished public health professional. She was exceptional. She not only contributed her mark in the public health space, she was an authority, not just in Nigeria, but internationally. Her death remains a shock to us, but we continue to submit to the will of the Almighty God.
Family members, associates, and notable sons and daughters of Odiremo also paid glowing tribute, describing her as God-fearing, a bridge builder, and a strong pillar of support for our immediate community.
Most better half. Would have been 54 years in February, married. Before then we were friends. So more than 54 years already. But we thank God for her life. She served with our God. She lived well. She lived very well. We thank God for her life.
So she's original, she's loving, she's unique, she's selfless, she's
My mom was awesome. She was what you would say a Proverbs 31 woman. She was a mother in Israel. She was prayerful, she was loving, she was selfless, and she gave to each and every one of us and to so many of her other adopted children all across the world.
She's our wife, and she's a nice woman to us in the town. That was why we came here, to give her a good last respect.
Dr. Mrs. O.M.T. Odujiri, very supportive woman, very religious, very committed to development of the community, and has been doing well. Very supportive and very fine woman.
The remains of Dr.